Hello there guys, and welcome back again here to my YouTube channel, and thanks for tuning in again. And due to popular demand, today's video is all about my updated PvP Shura build tailored for a different scenario to maximize your gameplay. But before we move into the video, I just want to give you a heads up that we are still providing or offering pilot services discounted top up. If you are interested, you can message me on my Discord channel. I will put a link in the description below, and also hit the like button so this video reaches out to new people, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be updated on my latest upload. So without further ado, let's get started. First topic is understanding the basic of Shura. First, we will start with the core attributes you need to focus on to optimize your Shura for PvP scenario. It's crucial to balance your stats correctly to enhance both of your offensive and defensive capabilities. Speaking of stats, you all know if you are watching my live stream that I'm always promoting on increasing your physical ignore P depth so that your gates of hell will always penetrate your target. Because if you are a mid to low spender, many players will always discriminate against you. This was the case when I first started building my Shura. Many in the Shura class community couldn't even reduce an inch of the enemy's life. And there were times when I wanted to give up on this class because sometimes I felt that Shura was very weak and useless, as if I was only playing it because I liked the class. But all of that changed over time as I came to understand the class better. There are few secrets you can use to improve your build. Number one is improving your ignore physical defense, which basically allows your damage to penetrate. Second, or number two, is increasing your physical defense. So why do you need high physical defense? To give you a short story for better understanding, someone commented on my live stream asking what counters the minus 90% healing of the Rune Knight if they are an Archbishop. I simply responded, why not just increase your physical defense so much that your opponent can overcome it? So the next day, they come back to my live stream and thank me, saying the RK could no longer reduce their health, whereas before they could be killed. So it's the same logic with the Shura or any class that you are using or you're building right now. In Ragnarok Origin Global current meta, being a DPS character demands a substantial investment. The issue, especially in mid-tier categories, is that the DPS character face a dilemma if they prioritize increasing their ignore P depth. They end up sacrificing their PvP damage bonus and vice versa. This puts them on a top spot compared to classes like Archbishop, Royal Guard, or support types where low spending can focus primarily on defense and PvP reduction to compete effectively. Even with the power difference of 60 to 80k, especially among those in the 660k brackets. And I just want to answer majority of question in my live stream whether it's okay to play as a Shura in PvP as a free-to-play player. Well, my answer to that is a big yes and a no as well. Yes, it's definitely possible to play as a Shura in PvP even if you're a free-to-play player. But your experience and success will largely depend on your expectation and how you manage your resources. Like what I've said earlier, that you need to balance your stats. Being a DPS focused class can be challenging to maximize without significant investment. If your goal is to compete against players with similar or lower battle power, you can certainly find enjoyment and satisfaction on playing this class. However, taking on the higher battle power, which is often referred as whales or mid-spender, might prove difficult without the enhancement that typically come from the spending. And the answer can also be no if you think Shura is a whale killer, because Shura cannot deal damage if you don't have enough stats like skill damage, neutral, and whatsoever. So and Shura is quite expensive class. I think You need high ignore PDEP if you're below 660k, and PvP damage bonus if you are above 670k. This is because players in the 670 to 900k range often focus mainly on enhancing their dark and light feathers. Now that I've explained the expectation you should have when you switch to or start playing as a Shura, let's move on to discussing the stats that are crucial for this class in PvP. For stats allocation, first is maximize your strength as a primary stat for Shura. Strength boosts your overall attack power, making your physical attacks more formidable. Next is max out your vitality, so it will increase your max HP and physical defense. And for the remaining stats, allocate them to luck to gain an additional physical attack and to dex for the same reason. For skill stats allocation, I highly suggest that get at least level 10 Angelus to boost your PDEP. And at least get Blade Stop so you can also serve as a utility in PvP by immobilizing Rune Knights or any melee physical type for 20 seconds, allowing your teammate to hit freely. For feathers, if you are a low spender or in the mid-tier category, I highly recommend using this type of feathers in your attack setup. Mainly because it will significantly boost your ignore PDEP, and additionally use Justice Feather for an extra PDEP and attack, and you can also remove the Valor from your attack feathers if you already have at least 300 STR. For defense feather, I highly recommend getting at least soul in your feathers to increase both PDEP and magic defense. Additionally, if you can maximize divine on your feathers, even better, as it provides PvP damage reduction. One of the feathers I highly recommend as well is Knight because it can be easily upgraded. Also, don't forget the dark and light feathers. However, if you cannot upgrade them to match the level of the other feathers, it's better to use alternatives like Terra. The important thing is to ensure that all percentage are balanced. For gears and equipment, the best set that you can use to maximize your damage is tier set. However, this depends on your enemy. Sometimes your damage is more than enough. Using the Charleston and Goib set will give you an advantage because if the player isn't killing you and you're the only one dealing damage to them, this setup provides beneficial. Maybe this approach helps in balancing both offensive capabilities and durability in combat, allowing you to withstand enemy attack while effectively dealing damage. For accessories, the best one I highly recommend are: number 1 is Chaos. This accessory is great for increasing skill damage and offer a chance to boost your damage up to 50%. Second is Devour. This provides bonus stats of 10% ignore PDEP. Both accessories are excellent choices for enhancing your combat effectiveness, giving you a significant advantage in terms of both damage output and penetrating enemy defense. In terms of PvP, I have a strategy to teach you. I've been using this method for a long time in PvP, dating back to the days of playing on Korean servers and private server as a champion. So you need two main weapons. First is the Knuckles for Gates of Hell. Second is a Mace with Offhand for Tenacity, which helps prevent your weapon from getting destroyed by inserting Golem card. First is you'll need to place this 3 weapon in your stash. Then every time you use Gates of Hell, make sure to switch your equipment quickly. This is great tactic to use in PvP because it allows you to gain PDEP and increase and damage reduction against certain races. It depends on the card, especially if you're using Tarafrag, and anti-doram race, which is Orc Warrior, matching with Crack Buckler on the build for additional neutral damage reduction. So if you use the strategy, there will be times when your PDEP is higher than your opponent ignore PDEP. In those instances, you can essentially stand your ground against the enemy as they won't be able to penetrate your defense. For example, my PDEP is usually around 5,500 when I equip my knuckles, and it goes up to 6,100 plus, and if the proc on the weapon activates, it can increase to about 6,600 to 6,700. This is still significant help in combat, right? For Bero's core, some of the best option you can use is Holy Light Shield, because Holy Light Shields gives you 50% damage reduction. Second is Spell Barrier. It provides 21% incoming damage reduction while casting a skill, which is especially beneficial during the power implantation phases. Actually, the cores you really need in Bero should focus more on damage increase option like Mana Length Reversal. Bloodthirst, Ascetic are great for boosting your damage output, while Core Overload is an option. I don't recommend it based on my experience, or there are higher chance that it might decrease your damage. For Nebula path, I'm currently using Shura Gates of Hell. I know in my previous video, I recommend Combo Master to boost the damage of Gates of Hell. However, in PvP scenario like this, survivability becomes more crucial than increasing your damage output. This is because Ignore PDEP will do the work for you in terms of penetrating someone's defense. And for the Nexus engine, I highly recommend obtaining 2 5-grid Nexus in attack and 2 1-slot Nexus along with 2 grid Nexus both in defense and offense. As for the stats, it always depends on the situation and what worked best for you. Sometimes you may need to sacrifice PvP damage in favor of getting Ignore PDEP or vice versa. Best thing you can do is to conduct numerous damage tests in PvP to determine what setup works best for you. Another tip is increasing your monster research. So by enhancing your monster research, you can also boost your physical defense and attack percentage. The best way to increase your monster research without having to keep your PC running 24/7 is using UG phone. So keeping your PC on all the time can lead to higher electricity bills. So if you're looking to save money, or if you're using mobile phone device and want to minimize the battery wear, you can use UG phone instead. As you can see here, all you need to do is search UG Phone in your browser, or you can download it as an application so you can check the progress of your character. Basically, the UG Phone is a virtual mobile device that can run 24 hours non-stop depending on your subscription. It's also great to use for night scroll, especially if you're into 24 hours grinding, and it will be also useful for the upcoming release of the Ragnarok Battle of the Original Heart. This is essentially a classic Ragnarok online game but with the controls of Ragnarok Origin. I just hope that the trading system is still available in this game, but for sure, this game is a must try, especially if you're looking for a classic Ragnarok experience but don't have much time, since it's also offer an auto feature. And again guys, thank you for watching this video. If this video was helpful for you, is make sure to click the subscribe button to get more updates on my Ragnarok Origin video. And if you have some question regarding this build, feel free to comment down below. And again guys, see you on my next video.
I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable.